What's up guys, Winter Killz here and welcome to a brand new deck profile for Atlantean Mermails here in October. I didn't do an update in September just because I was busy with other decks and really just didn't feel the need to do an update, but here we are in October and I feel as though the build has changed a little bit since the last build. It's still playing the Deep Sea King Coelacanth, the fish engine if you will. It's a lot of fun to play. It's the build that I personally enjoy playing the most right now and just have the most fun with playing. But as far as competitively viable, I would say that your best bet is probably to go with the Orcus engine. But if you're looking to mix it up with this deck, as this deck can definitely do, because there's so many ways you can play it currently, this is a really interesting option. So definitely take a look and give it a shot for yourself. It's a lot of fun and can make some really cool plays. But before we get started into the profile, I want to mention a shout out to our two sponsors. Imperium Duelist provided this amazing mat, which is not out yet. This is the successor to the Millennium playmat. It is a 2-player cloth playmat on that King's Robe material, extremely soft, beautiful color scheme featuring the Millennium ring, I believe, or necklace piece. Absolutely amazing playmat. The colors on here, the purple, gold, and sort of like blackish colors look really nice. This mat will be out on the 18th of October. So if you guys are interested in this mat, make sure you save up for that date because it will be out soon, and it is absolutely amazing. It does not disappoint. Probably might actually be my favorite mat from them of all time. They just keep outdoing themselves. I don't know how they do it release after release, but this mat is absolutely amazing. So we'll be out on Friday the 18th on their website, and if you want to get it for 10% off, be sure to use that discount code down in the description, WinterKillz 10 off. Also, if you're buying anything off of TCG Player, any singles or sealed, be sure to use my affiliate link down in the description below. But yeah, with that being said, let's go ahead and get into the profile here. And the sleeves I'm rocking today are these white tournament ready non-effect sleeves that have the red interior, which looks so nice. So let's go ahead and get started with the monster lineup. And first we have 3 copies of Mermail Abyss Teus. Teus is the best card in the deck. I mean, hands down, this combined with Dragoon just opens up so many combos and so many different builds. So yeah, easily a 3 of. Next, I have 2 copies of Mermail Abyss Megalo. There's one thing I hate in this build, and that's opening up multiple copies of Megalo, so I wanted to reduce that as much as I could. Obviously, I could just play 1, but I wouldn't feel comfortable just playing just 1 because this card does allow you to win games, does allow you to get 2 discards off, so you do at least need to play 2, in my opinion, for this specific build. Next, we have 2 copies of Mermail Abyss Pike. Really good starter card right now for this engine. Search is a key combo piece. Level 3 water like Crusadia Arborea can search things after it's being reborn off of a gun, and that can help set up for huge follow-up plays. So really good card. 1 Abyssmander. This card is clutch because we are playing the Dying or the Osea engine. So this card allows us to make rank 4s, which is really clutch. 2 copies of Abyss Gund. Great extender, just a monster born you can just discard. And then 1 copy of Abyss Dying. This card is a good extender as well in the right circumstance. I believe it is added to your hand by a card effect. You can special summon it while you control a Mermail. And then its other effect is if it is special summoned, you can special summon a level 3 or lower, I believe, Mermail monster from your graveyard. Both those effects are hard once per turn, so it does have its uses in some situations. Then we have the 1 Osea. This card is amazing. It's like my favorite Mermail in the deck right now, to be honest, next to like Teus. It's just a really good follow-up. Like if you just have Teus and no other good discards, you can just go grab this and, you know, make a decent play with like, you know, Alacia and Bahamut Shark and Toad, and at least get you something with that bare minimum play, which is really nice. I think this list really excels at taking the reliance off of Teus Dragoons because there's a lot of really cool plays you can do without those cards. So that's it for the Mermail lineup. Yeah, that's a bigger Mermail lineup than most people are probably used to playing, but I'm a pretty big fan of it at this point in time. Now we'll go into the Atlanteans here, and to start we have 3 copies of Dragoons, of course, no brainer. You gotta play the 3 goons. Then moving up next, we have the 3 copies of Prince and the 3 copies of the Heavy Infantry. Just the 9 Atlanteans right now. No Marksman. I'm opting to keep Marksman in the side deck personally. Just because I just don't Marksman really doesn't have any specific uses and any combos, and it's just kind of a brick that you don't want to draw. Infantry is nice because you can act as a pseudo brilliant fusion, getting that extra normal summon, which can come in clutch. Prince is Prince, obviously, and Dragoons as well. Just it's Dragoons, so you gotta max out on those as much as you can. Then next up we have the Swap Frog engine, consisting of the 3 swaps and the 1 Ronin. This engine is really good. The fact that it discards a card to summon itself is really nice. Discard a water to set up your graveyard for whatever. Really good revive target for Marincest, Coral, and enemy. Makes totally awesome. Just like very little downsides to this engine. It's really good. Then no Undyne engine. I decided to drop the Undyne engine because the controller is just too much for me. I can't handle controller right now. He's just too strong for my liking, and he's just a really prevalent force that always shows up in my hand. And also to mention, like, a lot of the monsters in this deck's engine, specifically the fish engine, work when you have all water monsters in your graveyard. At least I know Launcher does. And you just don't want to like add that possible brick to your hand, because you will draw a controller. You will draw it. So I just wanted to take it out of the deck because it's not really needed. Then we have 3 copies of Super Deep Sea King Quellacanth. This card is incredible, and I got it in ulti finally. It's not first ed, but it is ulti, so looking very clean. Basically, its effect is once per turn, you can discard 1 card to special summon as many level 4 or lower fish-type monsters from your deck. A monster special summoned by this effect cannot declare an attack, and its effects are negated while on the field. If this card is targeted by a spell trap or effect monster's effect, you contribute 1 other fish-type monster, negate that effect, and then destroy that card. So, usually when you bring this card out, you are bringing it out off of White Aura Monoceros, which is a fish. So if they do have Valor, if they do have Impermanence or Widow Anchor, or anything that targets that would negate this card's effect, you can distribute away the Monoceros to negate that, to allow the card to go through. So it does have built-in protection, which is nice. Otherwise, it'd be really fragile. Then, of course, 1 Moon Glacia, you've got to play it. Very good going first option when you can't set up Deep Sea King. 1 Lapis Dragon, 2 copies of White Stingray. Basically, this card, you can special summon it from your hand by discarding a water, so similar effect to the swap. And then if it's special summoned from the graveyard, you can treat it as a tuner, which does come in handy because you can revive this off of the Anemone, treat it as a tuner, and allow you to synchro into a 7 with other level 3s in the deck, and be able to just go into the Monoceros from there, which is nice. So very good extender. 1 Arborea, searchable off of Pike, level 3 tuner. You can just summon to his own link monster points to, like your Mistarboy or your Lacia, and be able to synchro into Monoceros from there. 1 Diva, 1 Planter, just for free link fodder. 1 Launcher, synchro, and link fodder. 1 Beautiful Princess or Beautiful Princess. This card, it's a good play starter when you don't see any other normal summons. You can also summon this off of you can summon these 2 off of the Deep Sea King, and be able to make Trish if you really need to. So having a level 1 fish target in the deck is nice for Deep Sea King, and it's also good if you open it, you can just normal it to go into Pike, and then just make plays from there. So it does have uses outside of just the fish play. Then the last 3 cards of the deck are 3 copies of Sekka's Light in that beautiful prismatic rarity. Yeah, had to get these, had to throw them in there, hands down. Give you guys a little close up there. These beautiful sleeves too, that red inside, that white back, looking so incredibly nice. So yeah, last 3 cards of the main deck, and that is a 40 card main deck, I believe. No Undyne engine this time around. Mainly the big difference. Also playing 3 Deep Sea Kings Quellacanth, because it is just such a good card. Without the Undyne engine, you just want to increase the chance of seeing Deep Sea King in your hand, to be able to discard off Teus, Megalo, Swap Frog, Pike, White Stingrays. You can see we have a lot of ways to discard that card to the graveyard. Then moving into the extra deck here, to start, we have 1 Tatsunoko. This card is really handy with Pike and Diva plays, because you can use this to, normal summon, Diva, go into Prince, send Dragoons, add Dragoons, Megalo, and then you can synchro into Tatsunoko, and then from there you can synchro the Tatsunoko with a Pike in your hand to be able to go into Monoceros to revive the Pike to be able to make more plays from there. So very good extender. 1 Bryonak, of course, you still got to play the Bryo. Monoceros is pretty much mandatory with this build. You got to play it to be able to revive Deep Sea King. And that's not the only way, though, to keep in mind to get out Deep Sea King. We can also use Alacia to bring it back as a surefire way to get it onto the field. 1 White Aura Whale, 1 Trish, of course, for the synchros. That'll round that out. Now into the Ixies, 1 Gaios, 1 Squallow Bahamut, 1 Abyss Dweller, and 2 copies of Totally Awesome, because 1 in testing just did not prove to be enough, so 2 is fine. And that's it for the Ixies. And then lastly, for the links, 1 copy of Miss Starboy, 2 copies of Alacia, and what I was saying earlier about this as being a surefire way to get to Deep Sea King is that if they have a very minimal board for them to work with, and you just get this on field, which is not hard to do at all, they destroy this, you just send Deep Sea King to the grave, and then revive the Deep Sea King, and it's got a 2000 defense, and if they can't get over it, it's a big threat that they have to deal with next turn. Otherwise, you're just going to plus really, like, you're just going to plus big time off of it. And then the last 2 links are 2 copies of Marincess, Coral Anemone. I like playing 2 just because late game it can come up to revive key cards in your graveyard. So yeah, you don't have to play 2, but I like playing 2 personally. So yeah, that's it for the extra deck and the main deck. Now I'll go ahead and show you guys a combo, how to set up Deep Sea King. This is going to be a bit different than the last combo that I showed in the previous profile. This combo, it's only going to take the these cards right here. These 3 cards, it's going to end on a bit of a different board. This time we're going to be able to end on 2 Totally Awesomes, Abyss Alacia, and the Bahamut Shark. So it's going to be a pretty solid field, if you ask me, off these 3 cards. And these are all 3 ofs, keep in mind. So there are other ways to get to Deep Sea King. Some require more cards, some require less cards, some require the same amount. This is just going to be the one way that I'll show you guys, because it does showcase a bit of a different way to get to it other than using like Teus Dragoons. So yeah, let's go ahead and get started. Alright, so the combo I'm going to show you guys is just going to use, like I said earlier, Prince, Swap Frog, and a copy of Deep Sea King Sewelakenth, or whatever you guys were telling me. I was pronouncing it wrong apparently, but regardless, we're going to start off by special summoning the Ronin Totem, not the Ronin Totem, the Swap Frog, and then discarding that Deep Sea King to the graveyard. And then at this point, we're going to dump the Ronin Totem now to the grave. And then here we're going to normal summon Neptibus, and we're going to send Dragoons and add Dragoons and Lapis Dragon, not Megalo here. So keep that in mind. We're going to add the Dragoons off of the Prince effect, then off the Dragoons effect, we're going to add Lapis Dragon, and we're going to special summon Lapis Dragon. I believe zone placement does matter quite a bit here. I think we want Neptibus under an extra monster zone. At least not the same extra monster zone that we're going to synchro for the Monoceros for. So at this point, we have a level 7 synchro ready to go here, because we can synchro with Swap. We can't synchro with Ronin, though. So there is room for a Moulin Glacier setup here, but right now we're just going to skip that part and just add Dragoons instead. So now we're going to synchro with the Lapis and the Swap Frog to go into Monoceros, activating its effect to summon out the Deep Sea King. Now from this point, we're going to use Deep Sea King's effect to discard this and go ahead and special summon as many level 4 or lower fish monsters from our deck as possible. And here I'm going to choose Fishborg Planter just for link fodder. And I'm also going to summon a copy of the Abyss Mander and a copy of White Stingray, all being level 4 or lower fish. And then we also get to search off of our Dragoons. And off of the Dragoons, I'm going to just add the Heavy Infantry, so we have a good discard target in our hand for the Alacia. So we get a destruction and as well as a search. So at this point, we're going to link away the Monoceros and the Prince for a copy of Anemone. And then we're going to use Anemone here to target the Swap Frog in our grave to special summon that. And we're going to use Swap Frog's effect here to send another copy of Swap Frog to the graveyard. And then at this point, we are going to link away the Fishborg Launcher and the Anemone for a copy of Miss Starboy, because we can't make anything else at this point. And then here we're going to overlay the 2 level 4s into a copy of Bahamut Shark. We'll detach the Stingray, doesn't make too big of a difference here. And then we'll summon out the Toad there. And then from here, we'll link away the Deep Sea King and the Miss Starboy into a copy of Alacia. And then lastly here, we'll just go ahead and use the effect of Ronin Totem to banish the swap to summon out the Ronin. And then we'll make a second copy of the Totally Awesome, sitting at 2,700 because of Alacia, and this sitting at 3,100. So that is banished. We still have this card in our hand, as well as 2 other cards to work with. And at this point, we do have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 waters in our graveyard. So I don't think Moulin Glacier is possible to set up with this play. It might be able to at some point, but I'm just more focused on getting this board set up right here. So yeah, pretty solid field if you ask me. We do have the Fishborg Planter engraved for next turn as a free special summon. All we need to do is mill the top card off of our deck, and if it's a water, we get to special summon that card for free. We also get to search Teus next turn and pop a card, have 2 negates, so pretty strong field off just those 3 cards. Teus Dragoons nowhere to be found. So yeah, that's that combo there. I'll go ahead and shuffle up the deck now, and we'll do a random test hand for going first. Alright, so I've shuffled the deck here, did a pile shuffle as well, so let's do a final cut and draw into a hand of 5 and see what we can pull off. So we're starting off with Dragoons, Pike, Teus, and a copy of Prince. So this hand says one thing and one thing only, just do Teus Dragoons. So we got lucky enough to open that. So yeah, let's go ahead and start this test hand off with Teus. We'll discard the Dragoons here, and we'll go Chainlink 2, Chainlink 1. Since we opened up Pike, though, we can actually make some pretty cool plays here using Pike and things like Tatsunoko, so really excited to show you guys that. So let's go ahead and add Deep Sea Diva off the Dragoons. I'm just kind of doing this out of order here, but it doesn't make too big of a difference. And then we'll add Gund as well. Then here we'll just normal summon Diva and then special summon a copy of Prince from our deck. Then we'll use this effect to send Dragoons, add Dragoons, and of course Megalo. Can find them, Dragoons, and where's that pesky Megalo? There it is. Now at this point, we have a pretty good setup here. There's a couple things we could do. First being that we could synchro here for Tatsunoko, and then synchro with the Tatsunoko and the Pike, and then use Monoceros to bring back the Pike to be able to discard to search and make a play that way. But we already have Megalo with like Pike and Gund in hand, so we don't technically need to do that. But I'm gonna go ahead and just do it anyways, just because it's a really cool combo. So yeah, we'll synchro those 2 into Tatsunoko, and then we'll use Tatsunoko and Pike into a copy of Monoceros, and then we'll use Monoceros' effect to summon out Pike. Then we'll use Pike's effect here to discard the Dragoons. And we'll go ahead and search any Sea Serpent and any level 3 water monster from our deck to our hand. We have normal summoned. We haven't used Gund yet, to keep that in mind. So I'm actually going to add Osea here. And I'm going to add, let's see, Moulin Glacier is probably a bit out of the question at this point. So I'm just going to add the infantry from our hand, from our deck to our hand. Now from here, again, there's a whole lot of options that we have here. We can summon Megalo by discarding the Gund and the Osea. We can summon Megalo by discarding the Gund and the Prince. There's a whole lot of things we could do here. And I think what I'm going to do is start by linking these guys away first and go into a copy of Alacia. And then from here, I'm going to summon Megalo by discarding the Gund and the Osea, and then we'll revive the Osea targeting this, and then we'll summon out a copy of Mander and a copy of Gund. Or we could summon Dine. It doesn't make too big of a difference. I'm going to summon Dine here, actually, just to get it out of the deck. Just like that. And then we'll send the Teus to the graveyard. And then from here, we just need a way to link off the Mander into the grave. Which I guess here, instead of making Alacia, we could have just made Mistar Boy. Just to get that out of the way, and then link these into this. And then from here, we can use the Mander to go and make these level 4. This will also be level 9 or level 8. And then we can summon this, detaching this, to summon a copy of Toad. And that is what we are left with currently. There's probably tons of different ways we could have played that out. This is just the way I went going for. Like we could have linked away the Monoceros and the Teus, and then summon Megalo by discarding like the Gund and the Prince, and we could have like made a rank 7 and a rank 4. So if we rewind a little bit, so we can put this back here, this back here, this back here, this here, that there, that back into the deck, that back into the extra deck. This was in our hand, and I believe we just had this on field. That was back in there. So I think we had something like this. This would be back in the deck as well. So another thing we could have done was link these guys away for, let's just say, Mistar Boy to start, or Alacia. Actually, let's just do Alacia. So yeah, we'll summon the Alacia, and then here, instead of discarding the Gund and the Osea, we could special summon Megalo by discarding Pike and the Prince, or not Pike and the Prince, but Gund and the Prince, and then use Gund to revive this, and use Prince to revive Dragoons, and then from here, we can make a rank 4 like Abyss Dweller, it's like that, and then a rank 7 like Gaios, like that. So that's just another way we could have done that combo as well, and we still have these 3 cards left in hand to work with. So a similar end board. One just gets you Toad, one gets you Dweller, Gaios, Alacia. It really depends on what you're playing against, what's going to be the better move. So yeah, that's going to be it for this video. Hope you guys enjoyed. Leave a like if you did. And yeah, don't forget to check out Imperium Duelist. This mat, again, coming out on the 18th this month. Absolutely gorgeous. If you guys want to pick up any sleeves like the ones I'm using here, these are the tournament effect, non-effect tournament ready sleeves. They have this beautiful like wine color on the inside and white on the back, and as well as many other colors for you guys to choose from as well. So use that code WinterKills10 off. Don't forget to use my affiliate link for TCG Player if you guys want to help support the channel. Those are just alternative methods to do so other than just watching the videos, which I already appreciate so much. So thank you guys so much for watching. Hope you enjoyed. As always, WinterKills signing out. We'll see you guys in the next one.